Hello, welcome to React Tutorials. Today I'm going to talk about how to pass callback from parent component to child component through props. Today I'm going to show you how we can pass a callback from parent component to a child component, and when some action happens in the child component, this callback will be called, and in the parent component this callback will be recognized and some state will be updated. So for that I can quickly show you a demo here. So imagine like this zero number of clicks made on the child component. This is a line in a parent component, and this child button it's in the child component. And when I click on the child component, this child component will call a callback being passed from the parent component to a child component, and this will be communicated to a parent component, and this number of clicks will be updated. So let's click on the child button. So here I'm clicking on the child button, and the state in the parent component is getting updated. So it's very simple technique, and this is very useful in React.js when you want to pass some actions from the child component to a parent component. So let's quickly see how we can do this in Visual Studio Code. So here in Visual Studio Code, to start with, I have just create React app with this pass callback with TypeScript template. Yes, TypeScript, because I like to work in TypeScript, and TypeScript is very much helpful when it comes to the types and overall sanity of the project. Okay, so yeah, so to talk about this thing, like I have here just clean up things which is given by create react app by default, clear everything and put only here this app, and this app has a now parent section. So this parent section here is coming from a parent, and this is a standalone component. And in this component, as you can see here, the first we have use state called number of clicks, and then the set for this particular state, and it's called set number of clicks. And this particular thing I'm using here in a function called callback, click callback. So click callback, I'm using it in the child component, and here in the child component we are passing a prop to a child component. So and this is just a line as we discussed, like show number of clicks on the child button. So yeah, it's very simple, like in a parent component I'm hosting this child component, and this child component looks like this. So yeah, I'm importing some styles, and mainly it is expecting a prop called child callback, and this child callback is used in on this particular button. So this button, whenever we click on this button will trigger something called as on click, and this on click has this function. So this function will not be executed in the child component, but it's only a reference which we are passing from parent component to child component. So this reference will go back to its the definition part, and this definition here is using this use hook and a function from the use hook, and it's updating the state for this number of clicks. And when this number of clicks are getting updated, this parent component's state will be updated, and it will render this, I mean it will trigger to render this particular HTML here. So, and as a result of that, we'll see the latest number of clicks, like this number of clicks made by the user. So yeah, that's pretty much like a very simple yet very useful technique how we pass a a callback function from parent to a child component. uh, so yeah, this was the mainly objective of this particular tutorial I have. So again, if we go back to the browser, I can show you how this is done. I will just refresh, and like this child component, and when we click on this, the number is getting updated here. So as we can see here, we have this app, and app is hosting the parent component, and this parent component is here, and parent component is using like useState and these like these two params here, like number of clicks and the set function for this number of clicks. So yeah, and this is a definition again, and this particular component is hosting something called child, and if we go to child, child has on click event, and on click event is calling this particular function. And actually the execution part is here, and when it is executed, the state will change and state will update the number of clicks performed here. So yeah, that's pretty much I can talk about this particular tutorial. And like using props from parent to child, it's kind of debated sometimes in terms of prop drilling and so on, but for the simple components like this, you can definitely use it, and this is the recommended way of how you can have a child component passing some functionality to the parent component and so on. In my upcoming videos, maybe I'll cover the part about prop drilling and various disadvantages of uh, using like props from parent to child and so on. But yeah, but for very simple functionality and components like this, you can definitely use it in your in your projects as well. There is nothing against about this particular thing. uh, so yeah, thank you for watching, and I will be uploading this code to the GitHub, and I will mention the link of my GitHub to the description. So in case you want to look at the code, please feel free to visit this GitHub. And in my next video, I will be covering unit test cases for this small component here. So yeah, thank you for watching, uh, and yeah, see you soon. Finally, don't forget to subscribe this channel for React tutorials.